Hello, everyone. Here I am on my Mac computer here, and what I'd like to do is show you what is installed on a Mac to help keep it safe. Now, there's actually a program that you can't really get to. It's just part of the code to help Mac stay secure. And if we come into system settings, where if it's part of the system, you're going to system settings to try to figure out what's going on. So virus scanning, part of the system. Let's go there. So let's virus, nothing, malware, nothing. Well, that's disheartening, isn't it? Yeah, there's nothing like Windows Defender on the Mac. And again, why is that? Well, you have to understand that they're not 80% of the market, so the vast majority of viruses and malware are not on them. However, that does not give them a buyout and say, oh, I don't have to do anything, don't have to worry about that. So, let's just go on with our life. They can do something else about, getting virus scanning like I have, which is Sophos here, which has Windows and Mac versions on their home edition. And I recommend that honestly, if you got a Mac, you really ought to go out and get virus protection, and we'll take a look at that. But well, is there anything that's helping us here? Well, first things first, when we take a look at our user, I did mention this before. Users and groups. Let's go there. And I am an admin. And automatically, as part of the system, this is the way it's going to work. Even though I'm an admin, if I try to install something, it's going to come up and ask for my user ID and password. Even though I'm already logged in, I'm already authenticated. On a Windows machine, again, once you're authenticated, it's not going to pop that up and say, hey, you need to re-authenticate to install this application. If you're an admin on a Mac, it does do that. It does that for everybody. And so that's a huge safety thing. That's a huge safety net because viruses and Trojans are usually they're coming down off of your internet because something you clicked on and it runs and now it's going to install. And on a Mac, it's going to come up and say, hey, you got to put in your user ID and password in order to install this. And you're going to go, what are you talking about? I'm not trying to install anything. Wait a minute. I'm not trying to install anything. What's going on? Cancel. I don't want that. But that's a huge, huge thing. Massive. It's a massive thing. In other words, it's very hard to get around that on a Mac. The other thing is they have something they like to give everything titles. Gatekeeper. So underneath privacy and security, we'll just go to that. There's a bunch of stuff about location services and on and on. They really give you full control on who's getting what and when and how, which is unique in today's environment. So let's go straight to Gatekeeper, which is way down here under security. Allow applications from App Store and known developers. This is a setting that I put on. Usually it's here on App Store, meaning they are going to force you to go to the App Store. If you download something like Firefox off the internet, which you can do, and then you try to install it on your computer, with this setting, it's going to say that's not from the App Store, and I don't care if you put in the password, you can't do it. That's really, really good, especially if you have kids that are using the computer, because they'll go out and download all sorts of stuff, and then when they try to get it running, it just won't let them do it. Now, this option, App Store known developers, this means people that we know like Firefox. So I go out to Firefox, I download Firefox, and then I can install it because as soon as that tries to run, it checks it against the database and goes, that's Firefox. We know who they are. Here we go. We're okay. So that's a major thing. That is a major, major thing. You can take a look at lockdown mode, which is lockdown, and background security improvements. You can take a look at that. Automatically install those security. And those are the improvements that I'm talking about. Those are the little things in the background that you don't see. And it looks like it needs a software update. So I will let it do that. I had no idea. All right. So that's the major way they protect themselves. Again, I would say, I don't like that. Okay, if it was just me, right? If it's just me, I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not. I follow the rules that I teach, and so I'm not worried about it. But if I'm going to have anybody else use my computer at any other time, or my wife's going to have somebody use her computer at any other time, yeah, definitely we're going to have virus scanning. And so that's why I have Sophos. And I said in the other presentation that yeah, I've had times where it was necessary. It saved us a few times. All right, so you can find the App Store off the Apple menu. Sorry, I've got my hot corners, set so it flies around. Um, so there's the App Store. It's always there. Or you can actually get this off of. I don't think I can move that. Yeah, I can. Okay. So you can also go to the launch pad and you can say, well, I need the App Store, and it will bring it up. Now notice mine looks a little funny. I have this .app on there. I have the extensions actually shown. Yours will just come up and say App Store unless you turn on those extensions. All right, and this is the way you would do it. So you come in and you say search, I want some virus scanning. And there's antivirus 1. Another one, antivirus 0. They've got reviews and how many people have used it. There's lots of them. And yeah, this kind of thing does take a little research. You normally are not going to just come out here and go, oh, okay, this one looks cool. I'll use that one. And yeah, they're all going to say get because they're all going to need money from you at some point because virus scanning is only free if you want other malware on your computer. Free virus scanning software usually lets other malware and they got to get paid somehow. Or the free virus scanning software is not automatic. There's no real-time scan in it. So that's very common. Like ABG has a demo I think, for Mac and for Windows that you can use. I don't mean a demo. It's actually workable. It's usable. However, you have to run the scans all the time. It won't automatically scan for anything. So yeah, you can just go through here and do a little research and find out which one you want. Otherwise, you keep the safety features on and do as I say, which is, hey, you see a pop-up come up and it's trying to install something. You say no to that. I prefer the extra bit of safety. Of course, if you're going to do that, that means you actually write Sophos. Let's actually see if Sophos is in here. There's their authenticator. Their authenticator. This is not Sophos. Doesn't say Sophos on it. So yeah, I don't see anything for Sophos. So that would require you to change that setting so it's not just the App Store. Let's look for AVG. I doubt they're on there either. Oh, there's AVG Cleaner to help clean off different files. But no, there's not the AVG virus app. Although I did see some quality ones on the list there. So that's how you would go about getting antivirus onto your Mac computer, which I do recommend that you do. If you want Sophos, just search for Sophos Home Mac. And again, they just do an all over license that allows you to install it on 5 or 6 different devices. And they've got stuff for Android and everything. I should get paid by them for giving them glowing review. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk with you later.